dear Genshin 2.1. What an interesting time in the game right now. Well, we've finally acquired our third Archon. We've gone fishing amongst activities such as cooking, harp playing, harping. The story's been better than ever, and we met some pretty cool characters and had some pretty banger tunes. So what does the community have to complain about now? First, let's talk about the plethora of bugs and inconsistencies that come with the initial launch of 2.1. First off, with the Raiden Shogun, she was nerfed substantially from what the beta testers and the community expected, to the point where her most sought-out viable comp is with the physical DPS in Eula. Instead of us naturally finding synergy with characters like Sar and Beidou. And although surprising us with different synergy ideas isn't necessarily bad, the problem lies with the inconsistencies of the actual kit itself, as many have mentioned that Shincho in his elemental burst is able to proc, whereas characters like Beidou's cannot. Next comes the constellations, which, first off, there are no characters in the game that require constellations, but the Raiden Shogun falls into a category of needing quite a few, namely C2 at least, to deal some substantial big PP damage, as her scaling was cut back and her power potential seemingly hidden behind the first two constellations. Which can be said about a lot of characters, but for the Raiden Shogun especially, since when compared to beta numbers, as well as considering her to be a 5-star character, you think her scaling would be up to par with a lot of the rest of the cast. Now Josh, most of your interpretations of the character are from the beta, but now this is the final product, so why complain? Well, why don't we talk about another character who's supposed to, who has her supposed numbers, but doesn't function properly. Kujo Sara. With their E skill, and this is pre-patched by the way, for PC players, the E would randomly teleport you either really short or too far away. The distance was supposed to be measured by the length of time holding the physical button, but that was chipped. And to add an additional problem, there have been record times where you don't even move anywhere when, pressing the E to dash away. Also times when you actually teleport out, but are still clipped by attacks because of a framing problem. Not being able to iframe dodge with the skill. Maybe Mihoyo intended it to be this way, as it could be a way of nerfing. But looking at other characters that have a leap back, let's look at Ganyu. She physically slides back, whereas this ability is more of a flash. Wouldn't you expect the ability to be able to dodge or produce proper iframes? And some of these clips that we've seen are just blatantly bad, as we can clearly see Kujo Sara escaping before the hit, but still gets knocked back and dealt the damage. And that's just the characters. Let's talk about another area, fishing. And you must be wondering, oh Josh, isn't fishing great? The mechanics are smooth, and there are a good amount of little fishies with, a variety of gameplay. The problem I have with fishing doesn't lie within the mechanics itself, but with the barter reward system behind it. First off, the conversions of the fishing pole does not make any sense. There's literally no reason to fish extra to get a quote-unquote better pole when all the fish available are easily caught with the beginner's pole. Are you seeing the logic here? Why spend more time, energy, and resources to make it easier for you when you spent the whole damn time fishing and most likely have gone better, or at least adept, at fishing? There's no point. We can take a picture out of the good old Stardew Valley and see how they've implemented even crazier fish that we're not able to obtain without, either dev-like control of the fishing rod, or by just purely leveling up your fishing level and getting better quality rods. We know Mihoyo to go halfway with a lot of their events and not necessarily flesh them out into larger scale permanent events. Hide and seek, tower defense. Excuse me. So it begs the question, will fishing be the same? Left halfway, and is only good at getting F2P weapons for Xiangling and Raiden Shogun. We need to see that you have some semblance of planning past this. And extra rods just doesn't give us enough of an impression that you even care about fishing. Look at the Serenity Pot. When are we going to get our fourth world? Our snow, swamp, or river biome? Anything that's more than 5 to 10 cute little furniture pieces and a single buff to wait. Now, let's also address the recent announcements about the events for the new future, mainly the concert and anniversary week. We love your music, Mihoyo. We really do. But let's be honest. After playing through the game for about 12 hours, give or take, we turn that stuff off and we play our own anime, weeb, music, Korea boo shit, right? The music in the game should be released in an album for the fans who want to pick it up. But to think that a full-on concert is going to be profitable? No. You need to have iconic soundtracks to bring people in. Think Pokemon, Kingdom Hearts, Legend of Zelda. And they most likely barely broke above even. So what makes you think holding a physical IRL concert for people to attend is going to be big news? Something that people want to go to. People waited even 2 hours just to even hear about this news. It's turned a lot of people off. And because we're not necessarily getting any compensation or rewards for tuning in, there's no point in attending other than to have it on as another background soundtrack whilst we study or play Genshin. Oh my goodness. Next, the anniversary event. You plan on giving us 3,800, give or take, Greenmo gems to a player base that has literally sprung you to the name of the #1 gacha game in the world. Granted, there are more older and more refined games out there, but Genshin is the most popular by a long shot. Don't you want this event to be a celebration of what you and the community have been able to accomplish? Don't you want to reward those who've been actively playing and possibly incentivize players to come back or, even start the game? Look at the recent Epic 7 and Pokemon Masters anniversaries. They gift you literally hundreds of pulls and extra loot to boot. In those games, you barely even need to worry about extra copies of the characters, whereas Genshin, some of our characters, recent characters, might need some extra copies in order to even hit 60% of their potential. And you're giving us less than 30 pulls to do it. Less than 2 to 4 million Mora, which is what it takes to level up a single character to any significant level. Less than hundreds of enhancements, ores, and level up materials required to grow our units. Let's be real. I'm not even going to recognize that we're having an anniversary event. What are they going to do? Slap on some ribbons and bows to a region that I don't even explore anymore? When was the last time any player above AR50 went to Liyue Harbor? For me, it was for Hutao quest, the story quest that I, forgot that I didn't finish because I was looking through the Archon quest. I was like, oh, Hutao quest, I didn't finish it. Let's go finish it. So if it seems as though I think that the anniversary event is going to be very underwhelming, it's because I think it is, and it's presented in a way that it will be. No one's looking forward to it, because it doesn't present us with anything substantial. Oh, and one more thing. Can we talk about the resin system? This is going to be a huge problem. It's only going to grow as the game progresses. As more characters are coming out, newer players will not be able to level them up as all their materials are locked behind worlds and regions that are locked behind adventure rank. And what do we need to get these levels to increase our adventure rank? Adventure EXP. And where do you get the most significant amount of adventure EXP? Stamina gated events or domains. And what is Mihoyo going to do for these, for newer beginner players or returning players? I'm already seeing it with my friends' new and alt accounts. Josh, I've pulled the new Raiden Shogun character from the banner, but my AR is too far away to even attempt to build her because the materials are behind Inazuma. What is Mihoyo going to do about this? Because the further and further away we progress through Tevat, the harder it's going to be able to bring new people in. I've seen literally no system for returning players or beginning players to catalyze their way with a slightly faster progression. And it's difficult to see my friends stuck because their characters can't even level up. And without leveling up, they won't be able to progress. And without being able to progress, they won't be able to level up those characters. It's a weird cycle that Mihoyo is going to have to find an answer to, not soon, but now. Genshin. I know I'm a small content creator. I'm not even a partner for you. But please, there are glaring issues that start from decisions that you can easily fix with the click of a button. You're sending out so many surveys, but you're asking the wrong questions. We love this game, and most of the product that you've been able to provide us. But please, let us help you make this experience better for us, because that's how you're going to maintain this level of success. Not too many games make it to this point, and we're going to have to act quickly, or else, by the anniversary, you might not have as many voices telling you to fix things, as they'll have moved on to the next. In any case, thank y'all. I hope you enjoyed my little rant letter to Mihoyo. Let me know in the comments down below if any of my information is unjustified or you think I left something out. I want to continue this conversation. And if you enjoyed, I would invite you to click on that big old thumbs up, possibly consider subscribing, and also check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/NotJShua, as I like to talk about a lot of these issues, play through Genshin itself, and do some review content, as I do actually review community Genshin accounts. So, for those who are here, thanks for sticking till the end. Catch you in the next video, and I don't know.